1 in 5 student loan borrowers are at risk of struggling when student loan payments resume in the fall. That's about 2.5 million people. Now, if you're in the know based on what I'm about to share, I know that you can avoid being one of those people. So let's get into what this is saying so that we can avoid it. So there's a connection between student loan payments being resumed and raising the debt ceiling. What does one have to do with one another? Well, there was a small provision inside of the agreement to raise the debt ceiling. That small provision terminated the more than 3-year-long pause on student loan payments and possibly making it harder for it to be extended again in the future. As a result of that, 40 million Americans will have their next due date around September. But here's the thing, this transition, it may not go as smoothly as we think, and it may not go as smoothly for a lot of people. Why is that? Well, people don't just have student loans to pay for. They have other loans like car loans or credit card loans to pay back on lines of credit. And as of March, about 2.5 million people were delinquent on one of those other loans. 2.5 million people were delinquent on one of the other loans, and now they got to start back paying the student loans. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Skye, and I make content to help you improve your financial well-being. And you might be saying, not a big deal. 2.5 million people got to pay back their student loans, but they're already delinquent on some of their other loans. That's not a big deal. Well, no, actually, that's 200,000 more people than last September that were delinquent on other loans. So it's more people that are delinquent than it was last year. Now, here's the thing. If you have to pay your car note, if you have to pay back your credit card, and you have to pay back your student loan, which one are you gonna pay last? You're gonna pay your student loan last. You're gonna pay those other things first, right? And that's the thing. More than half of student loan borrowers have a higher debt expense than they did before the pause began. They have more debt than before the pause began. So resuming payments when expenses are higher than when the pause began, that is a sign that there are going to be more people struggling to make those payments. We're seeing that some borrowers have used additional cash that they had over the past 3 years and have actually taken on more debt. So this is almost like a snowball effect that's happening. So we have half of Student Loan Society who has more expenses than before the pause started, and we still don't know where we stand when it comes to Biden forgiving up to $20,000 of student loans. If this plan is not passed through, it's only going to create more pressure for people to actually make their payments. And honestly, this impacts me because I paid off $56,000 of my student loans within 11 months. And I left the last $10,000 to be picked up by the relief program. According to CNBC, resuming loan payments without canceling that $10,000 or $20,000 for some will lead to unprecedented delinquencies. Why would this be unprecedented? Well, because in 2019, only half of the borrowers were actually paying on their student loans in 2019, and 25% were actually in delinquent or default status. The rest actually applied for relief measures for struggling borrowers, including deferments and forbearance. Now, these grim outlooks for paying back student loans are actually being compared to the 2008 mortgage crisis. What is the key thing that this article is pointing out? It's pointing out that the people that are at risk are people who have taken on more debt. People who have a car loan, people who have credit card loans. These are the things that are going to put you at more risk of being in that 1 in 5 category. So as student loan payments start to resume in September, just make sure that you're not taking on any more debt and that you're trying to pay off any debt that you have as soon as you can. And listen, we still have time to take advantage of that 0% interest until payments resume in September. Put any amount of money that you can towards your student loans to pay them down as much as possible. Even if you want to leave a little bit, like $10,000 or $20,000 for some, just in case that bill gets passed. Paying it down as much as you can is going to help you to stay away from that 1 in 5 when it comes to people struggling to pay back their student loans. Now, if you need some tips for how to pay off your student loans fast, check out this video right here. And with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video.